Welcome to Lawyer Business Advantage. This podcast is dedicated to helping attorneys earn more money, get better clients, and spend more time with family. I'm your host, Alay Yajnik, founder of law firm Success Group. Smart business guidance for small law firms begins in 3, 2, 1. And it's my pleasure to welcome to Lawyer Business Advantage, Phillip Hogan, founder and CEO of Signing Services of America. Phillip, how are you today?
Alay, I'm fine now that I'm on your show.
Love that. Thank you. Flattery will get you everywhere. It's great to have you on the show, and you have an incredibly diverse background. I just want to go through a couple of the highlights from that. I think you've been in law enforcement. You've been in the Navy, so thank you for your service in both of those things. You've done social work and been involved in some housing challenges that you've helped to resolve. You've done really well in corporate America, and you now have grown Signing Services of America, which is a nationwide notary service, to 7 figures plus. So, Phillip, congratulations on all your success, my friend.
Thank you very much. It's much appreciated.
So I would love to hear about, we have a lot of attorneys who run their law firms and they aspire to have a 7 figure law firm, so $1 million law firm, or an 8 figure law firm, like a $10 million firm. But they're not sure how to do that. Like they don't even have the first idea on how to get started on that. And I thought maybe going through how your journey has been might give them some insights. I know I always learn things when I hear from entrepreneurs like yourself. So
Mhm.
tell us, what inspired you to jump into the notary business?
Well, Alay, thank you for asking that question. In October, let's see, in 2016, I purchased a car from out of state. And instead of me traveling to the dealership to close a deal, they sent a notary to my home with the closing documents for the automobile. We closed the loan, and I was completely intrigued by this person and who he was and what his profession was and the type of work that he did. So I asked him if he could stay around a little bit longer after the closing. He did. And I just drilled him with some questions. How did you become a notary? What exactly do you do? How do you do it? How do you make your money? How do you market your business? How do you get repetitive business? And 10,000 other questions. And he was patient enough to answer each one of my questions. And later that day, I did some more research online, and indeed, it backed up what he had told me. So the next day, I began to pursue my goals of becoming a notary commissioned in Georgia. Shortly thereafter, I took some additional credentials or yeah, credentialing courses to learn more about specifically real estate transactions and what are these real estate documents consist of. Although I've closed on various properties, I really didn't understand I really didn't possess the knowledge to really have the strength to understand what those documents meant. So this course helped me to understand that. And then I got my notary commission stamp, and then I began to market my business onto various websites. And before you know it, my phone began ringing, and I was off to the races in regard to doing various type of real estate transactions, notarizing documents for various real estate transactions.
Very cool. So when you became a notary, what was at the time? Kind of tell us what your how being a notary fit into your whole life, your personal life, into your business, and what were the aspirations or vision that you had when you started?
Mhm. Sure. Well, I grew up in a family business, and one of the businesses my parents had was investment properties, and so I was really exposed to real estate investing properties at a very early age. And so when I started Signing Service America, when I really understood that this was a profession that allowed me to delve deeper into the real estate transaction world, I was all in. And so in 2015, I was doing a lot of business in Georgia, and a title company had approached me to partner with them so that they could expand their business or their base in Atlanta, Georgia. And I said, sure, I'd be all for it. And so I just needed to have resources to handle the volume of business that they sent me. And so it was the next logical step was to start a signing service where I could hire notaries throughout not only Georgia, but throughout the country to facilitate the needs that this client had. And that's how Signing Service America was started in February 2016.
That is so cool. So once you became a notary, you had an opportunity with a really large
Mhm.
client that required notary services on a national scale, and you went for it. Um,
Yes.
what oftentimes when attorneys have an opportunity like that on their plate, they don't go
Mhm.
for it. They don't.
Mhm.
They'll talk themselves out of it, or they won't take action, and the opportunity will just move on.
Mhm.
When you were thinking about this opportunity of, hiring more people and scaling up your notary and really serving this client, there's also some risk that you would be taking on in doing that. What were you feeling at that time in terms of the reward and the risk?
I was extremely enthusiastic about taking on the risk. There wasn't much yeah, there was some risk involved, but I just felt so confident in my ability to meet the needs of what this client had expected from us because we had been working together probably for the prior to that, maybe for the past 3 or 4 months. So I really got to know the operation managers and the individuals, the escrow, the title agents, and even the owner of the title company, which was in Clearwater, Florida. So there was the level of comfortability was there for me to start my business, and I'm real big on building relationships and really talking to people and making folks feel good about themselves and feeling good about working with me. So my natural my natural skills of building relationships just really seem to pour out and help build this opportunity to connect with these people on a greater level. And so I really never, although my colleagues would say, "Oh my goodness, aren't you afraid?" And oh, what's going to happen this and what's going to happen that, and there was always going to be some sense of uncertainty when you start a new business endeavor. However, if you take your time, build small, and really try to answer the questions and line, as we say, line up your ducks and make sure everything is in order, then you'll have the greater chances of being successful. How fast you're going to grow, that just depends on the industry, it depends on yourself, and it just depends upon the different systems you have in place to help scale your business.
Share with us a little bit how your role has changed from being, the person that did everything in your business to now someone who's running a large national firm.
Sure. Well, one of my mentors at the time said to me, Philip, you have the choice of running your business or building your business. And what he meant by that is said that if you run your business, meaning that you're going to be doing all the day-to-day work. But if you build your business, then you're going to take on the responsibilities of delegating, of hiring individuals and delegating those individuals to do the duties that your business needed. I chose to take on the mindset of building my business. And by that, I meant I immediately needed to hire a scheduler, and then before you know it, I started getting more involved into operations side of the business. I got more into the accounting side. I got more involved into the technology side. I got more involved into the marketing side, and then I got more into really understanding the relationship between the notaries and my company, and that was the biggest gain for us to gain the confidence of those that are doing the work, that they had a company or partner, if you will, who was serious about their business and serious about maintaining a very positive relationship with the notary community. And over the years, we've added on, we've scaled, and we brought in more staff. And obviously, we brought in a operations manager, and the operations manager took care of the operations side of the business, which then allowed me to focus on scaling. And in scaling was really sales and marketing, going out and networking, attending conferences, meeting with individuals, conducting the email follow-ups, conducting the phone calls to really build the relationship with individuals around the country to the point where they would want to send us their orders that needed the notary service, that needed a notary to meet with their signers to get the deals done.
And so you really gravitated, sounds like, towards the sales and marketing side of the business. So what
Mm.
does a typical weekday look like for Phillip Hogan?
A typical weekday is working with the sales and marketing or a special projects coordinator, working with my operations manager. I do have regular meetings with the operation managers of our clients just to check in and make sure that we're doing what they want us to do. And is there anything else that they would like us to do? And if there's any tweaking that we need to do with the service that we're providing. I deal with some escalated issues whenever my operations manager can't handle, or if a client is requesting to speak directly to me about a particular situation, then so be it. And that situation happened yesterday, and I would love to share with you and your audience if we have the time to do that.
Yeah, sure.
So we have a client in Texas, and we have a number of clients in Texas, and it was a last minute order, and the signing was actually in Kansas. So we had to hire a notary. We did, and then we found out once the notary reached out to the signers to confirm the appointment, the time was for 7:30, and that was too late. And the documents needed to be executed and returned back to my client in Texas the next day. And had that signing been held at 7:30, it would have been too late to get those documents over to the FedEx office to be delivered for the next day. So the deal would have been killed. And had we not known that, then it would have been a problem. Fortunately, we hired a really responsible notary who communicated with the signers all that was involved, communicated back to us. We realized that that's not going to work. So we hired another notary and we modified the signing. Instead of the notary traveling to the home of the signer, which they usually do, we agreed to say, listen, let's go have everybody converge at the FedEx shipping center, get the documents executed there, and and then we won't lose any time in traveling to the signer's home and back to the FedEx and possibly miss the ship time. Well, the deal worked out well. My client's incredibly appreciative that we were thoughtful enough and solution based enough to help her resolve a big deal that she needs to close. And that's the type of service that we offer. And that's the type of service I think your client should offer to their clients, right? Is that what is the problem? And how can we best assist you to resolve their problem with minimal stress? And if your clients feel that way, that you're providing that type of service, that you're genuine enough to think through the problem to the point of offering them a solution that works, and it works, oh my goodness, they're going to love you for it. They're going to say, hey, listen, thank you so much. And then before you know it, they'll send you more business. And before you know it, they may want to start bragging about you to their colleagues. And that's how my company has grown, by being very genuine, being authentic, and being a problem solver.
That's a great story that you share with us. Thanks for doing that. Because it's very impactful. And it just struck me that, to your point, clients will refer you business when you're solving hard problems for them. And I
Mhm.
think sometimes that's something that we have to distinguish. If you want to earn a client's trust, you got to solve a tough problem for them. You don't get a
Mhm.
lot of points for solving the routine stuff. You get points for going above and beyond and solving a really difficult issue. And nice thing is, a lot of attorneys, I think, are naturally inclined to do that. They love
Mhm.
digging in, they love jumping in, they love solving problems. But sometimes where they might fall a little bit short is in the
Mhm.
communication of those things. So they
Mhm.
might be working really hard on a problem. The client's over here, not knowing what's going on. And then if that
Mhm.
follow-up isn't done properly, you can turn a really, really tough situation that should have been an absolute win into something where
Mhm.
the client is really just not happy because they're only looking at the result. They don't know the effort that was put in. They don't know the different challenges that had to be overcome. They just weren't in the loop. And so tell me a little bit about how your firm approaches responsiveness and client communication.
Well, those are two big pieces for us, Alay. And so we are proactive communicators. And, in our world, we are constantly on the phones or emails, communicating with our clients anywhere around the country. And, a quick response time is essential to building a successful business. This just nothing less than that. If you can't be responsive in your time, in your response time, then you're looking to build. You're looking to not have a successful brand. And so our response time can be anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, depending upon what the purpose of the contact to us was. And not only is our response time within 15 to 30 minutes, but we're also offering a solution. We're also offering some proactive thinking. We've thought through the process, and now we're presenting to you a problem, correction, a solution to your problem that more than likely will work. Another quick story is that we deal with senior citizens. We deal with what's called HECM, home equity conversion mortgage, and that's for the senior citizen population. So we had a deal today where AKA was an issue and otherwise known as. And so my client called us and said, "Hey, listen, we've got a client who's got the ID in one name, the documents in another name. What should we do? How can we get this deal done and save time?" I said, "Well, let's just create an AKA included with the documents and have the notary there. The notary will notarize it. They'll confirm the identification of the signer, and then we're good to go." And he said, "Gee whiz, thanks a lot, Signing Service America." They were they were really panicking. And so you have to be genuine with your clients. And that's who we are. I'm a natural problem solver. And it just really flows out when I'm doing business with our clients. And one of the things that our clients hate the most, they really are disgusted with it, is when a problem happens and I didn't tell them or my company didn't tell them about it and they found out themselves. That sucks. It just destroys it begin to deteriorate the trust that has been established between Signing Service America and the client. And I learned the hard way. And we lost a client because I wasn't responsive enough to a situation that ultimately blew up in the face of my client. And I learned fast. Okay, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, isn't that the truth? Like,
Oh,
I've lost clients too. Those were always incredible learning moments. I mean, I remember every time that's happened to me. Fortunately, I can. It hasn't been that many, but everyone's been an amazing learning experience for me. What about you?
yes, I mean, absolutely. And here's a situation where I've learned to become a proactive communicator. Not only that, but a proactive thinker, right? And so when we're talking, when I'm negotiating or doing the onboarding or doing the networking with a particular client or potential client, and they say, "Oh, well, you have this particular service, and that's great. And there's a lot of different companies out there. What sets you apart from everybody else?" We are proactive thinkers. We are proactive communicators. We don't sit back and wait for the bomb to blow up. We will tell you, wait a minute, there's a potential bomb there, and that's going to be a problem. And and I've made other mistakes in the growth of Signing Services of America, and mistakes are required. But what I also have done is reduce the damage of those mistakes by not repeating them again. And I'm the kind of person, LA, where I always look at the process, right? And when things go wrong, I don't look at, well, you did this and who did that and that didn't go right. I look at what did I do to contribute to this problem or to this issue going wrong, either I or my company. And oftentimes when we are reflective in regard to looking for answers and we're authentically reflective in that, we're going to find the information that we need to realize that, oh, that's where the problem started. It was right here in what I did or didn't do, what my team did or didn't do. And now we fix that. And once it's fixed, it doesn't happen again. Then we move on.
And so let me draw a quick parallel here. The idea about being responsive and, for your organization, being really solution focused and anticipating problems and coming up with solutions and being proactive, that's not something that most notaries do, but your firm does. Similarly, an analogy on the attorney side might be coming up with creative solutions to legal challenges, legal issues, I
Mhm.
should say, not challenges, but tough case, some, tough issues, coming up with creative solutions.
Mhm.
Sounds like you now select for that in your organization. Like, you've built your business so that from the top down, people are thinking about those proactive solutions. And usually
Mhm.
it's a mix of, hiring the right people and incentivizing the right way and then having the right culture in your organization. But what have you done to make sure that from top to bottom, your business does, the proactive solution and proactive and the solution
Mhm.
oriented?
Great question. Thank you for asking. It really starts when we begin looking for a new employee, and it starts in the hiring process, right? We get the resumes, and we conduct the telephone call, and based upon that telephone call, we determine if we should bring this person in for a face-to-face interview. And then if we do, we'll have the operation manager in on the meeting or the interview, or we'll have a loan schedule, a line staff in on the interview. And then if that person proceeds, then that potential candidate will meet with me because the operation manager has deemed that this person is someone that we should strongly consider bringing them aboard. And then at that point, it's just a matter of me meeting with the individuals and asking a few more questions, and then putting my approval stamp. So it really starts, you're getting the buy-in from the moment the candidate comes into your office or the moment the candidate starts the interview process. And you have to be looking for the evidence to say, okay, this person could possibly fit in my organization. And one of the things that's really big for me, LA, is loyalty. How loyal is this person? And when I say loyal, meaning that how hard are you willing to work to 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 continue building the culture that this company has started? Are you someone that is someone who's going to basically sit back and wait for instructions, or are they going to initiate some things and ask questions based upon the initiation? So
How do you
that's
figure that
one
out?
step. How do you figure that out? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
How do
like
you
how do
figure
you
it out?
figure out if they're going to be the person that you want them to be?
Yeah, you got to be a good listener. You got to be a good listener. You have to watch, and you have to have good instincts, right? Those are the three attributes that I use in working with someone. And when you own your company, you can set the policies, right? And I've had to get comfortable with setting the policies and then getting people to enforce them, because working for somebody else, obviously those policies are already set, those policy procedures set, and you just have to align yourself to what it is that they want you to, that the employer is asking you to do. But when you have your own company, now okay, these are the things that I wanted to do or I thought should have could have been done at previous jobs, and now I can do it at my job, or now I can do it at my business. And so those are the attributes that I've used to bring people aboard. And we have a very slow turnover, very, very slow staff turnover. Also, what happens is that we provide trainings, right? Many of the staff that come aboard aren't experienced in this space, particularly when it comes to understanding various real estate documents. So there is a training program that we have instituted where the new employee will come into the training program and understand our policies and procedures, understand our culture, understand how we operate. And that may last for 6 weeks to maybe 3 months. And it's a paid program. But what happens is that we get a chance to see this person in action. This person has a chance to see other employees more senior than them in action, and then they learn from one another. But one of the biggest things I realized, I didn't realize it, and I got to say this, is that when we hired an employee, and no, when the employee came for the interview and the staff came down to meet with the employee during the interview process and basically explained to them why they continue to work at Signing Services of America, and that employee came to work the first day, it was such a sheer joy to see the employee that met with the new employee, and the new employee seeing the employee that came to the interview, and how they both smiled, and I said to myself, there it is. By getting the existing staff involved in interviewing process, it increases the accountability that that new employee has, as well as the existing employee has, about working for the company. So those are some of the things that we've done to make it an environment where people want to be productive. They want to contribute, and they want to see the business grow. And we have grown.
And like anything else, technology is great, but the business that you're in, the business that law firms in, at the end of the day, it's a people-based business. So if you have the best people, you're going to win, and that's what you've been doing, Philip. So, what are some things that you're looking forward to with Signing Services of America?
We really want to connect with the law firm community on a larger scale. We have worked with mass tort law firms and have done some class action lawsuits. And we're really built for that type of business where the firms are needing the presence of a notary to meet with their claimants to get those claimant agreements executed and any other documents executed and returned back in a timely fashion. And we have technology. We're able to integrate with Salesforce, and we also have other type of softwares that we can integrate. And so that's really the drive that we have, that we believe that there is a need for us in the law firm community. And we're hoping that the members of your audience would find us to be a product or a service that they could use, and they may want to connect with us.
Awesome. And if they do want to reach out with you and connect with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Best way would be to go to our website, www.signingservicesofamerica.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page. There is a form for you to fill out. It's a consultation form, and just send it in and it'll come to me, and then I will respond and arrange for a time for us to talk and see how we can meet your needs.
Sounds great. Phillip, thank you so much for sharing your insights and lessons you've learned in building a business. Really appreciate the candor, and it was great having you on the show today.
Thank you, Alay. It's great being on your show.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Lawyer Business Advantage podcast. One thing that would really help both us and other new potential listeners is for you to rate this show and leave a comment in iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you tune in to listen. And I want to hear from you, so connect with me on LinkedIn and let me know what you think of this episode. And if you are a solo or an owner of a small law firm and you're looking to earn more money, attract better clients, or reduce your stress, we would love to talk with you to see how we can help. Request your free law firm assessment by visiting lawfirmsuccessgroup.com. Again, that URL is lawfirmsuccessgroup.com. We look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you for listening. My name is Alay Yajnik. Until next time, remember, you can seize freedom. You can embrace happiness. You can build your perfect practice.